Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Classic Rain. As usual guys, please note the date when this video has been recorded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you're not familiar with the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let us put Classic Rain to the test. Classic Rain guys was released on the 20th of August 2021, and like all other diamonds released past update 2.0 was never part of the original store, hence he didn't have a price tag. Now let's take a closer look at his stats. His attack is 50,274, which is the 16th highest in the game. The hit points, they are 105,984, which is the 9th highest in the game. The toughness is 49,140, which is the 13th highest in MK Mobile. And the recovery is 54,110, which is the 5th highest in the game. Now, his base power generation is 100%, which is underwhelming. However, we must take into consideration his passive. And with his passive, his base power generation, I would say it's somewhere between 130 and 145%, because it is extremely easy to get 2 or even 4 stacks of his passive immediately after the game starts. It is that easy, guys. So I decided to give some extra point when it comes to power generation. So at the end of the day, for his basic stats, Classic Rain is going to get 25.6 out of 28 possible points. Alright guys, this is going to be probably my favorite part of the review, because I have to be honest, the moment I got Classic Rain, I said to myself, alright, this guy has unblockable special 2 that has 2 debuffs, that's awesome, so definitely this guy should be played for his special 2, right? No. It turned out that this guy can chain his special 1 to perfection. All he requires is a couple of stacks of his passive and a few pieces of equipment that amplify your power generation. If you have those 2 things, this guy is the absolute king of chaining special 1. Quite honestly, I don't think there is anybody else to match him. It is true that characters such as MK Scorpion can spam special 1 and lock the enemy in a spear lock, and characters such as Strike Force Scorpion can do the same, but they require some kind of knowledge, in the sense that you have to know, for example, for Strike Force Scorpion, which combo ender to cancel, which not. For MK Scorpion, you should be hitting 90% or more on the minigame. When it comes to Classic Rain though, he doesn't require any of those things, as you can currently see. Of course, he needs to have certain pieces of equipment, which almost anybody has, and he needs to get to 3 or 4 stacks of his passive, which is extremely easy to achieve. Once you have those 2 things, he can get to another special 1 in literally 2 or 3 basic hits. This is how fast it goes. And on top of that, his special 1 is extremely fast. For example, if we take MK Scorpion, he loses time while he's pulling the enemy to himself, he loses time while he's doing his crushing blow. Classic Rain doesn't do that. He just does special 1, 2 hits, another special 1, 2 hits, another special 1, 2 hits, and so on and so on. So without any further ado, let's get into details. Special 1 of Classic Rain guys is called Lightning, short and clear, and here it is what you need to know about it. First thing first, the ability can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has weakness debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of only 1 mini hit, and it has the single tap rectangle as minigame. And one more thing about his special 1, I wouldn't advise you doing his special 1 after his combo enders, because in a lot of cases the enemy will block, especially after the combo ender with the roundhouse kick. With that said, let's go to the damage section of the review. The minimal damage of Classic Rain Special 1 is 16,548, which is the 42nd highest in the game. The maximum damage is 33,097, which ranks 41. Sadly, the damage is low indeed. Once again, the Special 1 of Rain is completely blockable, it has weakness debuff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of only 1 mini hit, and it has a single tap rectangle as minigame. So for his special 1, Classic Rain is going to get 8.8 out of 13 possible points. And one final thing, guys, about Classic Rain Special 1. One of the other reasons why you should be using this special attack instead of his special 2 in the majority of cases is because in the feats of strength mode, he's getting increased chance of lethal hits. So at the moment you do 2000 special ones, you're going to have 8% lethal hit chance boost, which is huge. Alright guys, we already established how great Special 1 of Rain is, and now we have to establish that his Special 2 is also awesome, however it works in a different way. So let's get into details. First thing first, this special attack is completely unblockable. It has Soak, which is guaranteed, and a Snare if you manage to score at least 90% of the minigame, which is incredibly easy. In addition, the special attack can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 4 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circles minigame, like already mentioned, the easiest minigame in Mortal Kombat Mobile. In terms of damage, guys, the minimum damage of the ability is 55,162, which is the 9th highest in the game, and the maximum damage is 99,293, the 13th highest in Mortal Kombat Mobile. Once again, a Special 2 of Rain cannot be blocked by the enemy, it has Soak and Snare as debuffs, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, it consists of 4 mini hits, and it has the multi-tap circle as minigame. So for his Special 2, Classic Rain is going to get the incredible 19.6 out of 19 possible points. Well done, Rain. Alright guys, time to talk about the Fatal Blow of Classic Rain, which is really awesome. I love it. It is called Edenian Spikes, it has Team Bleed, and it can be cast from distance. What more could you possibly ask from a Fatal Blow? Now, when it comes to damage, the picture doesn't really change a lot. The damage is quite good. 134,597, which is the 9th highest in MK Mobile. Once again, the Fatal Blow of Rain has Bleed as debuff, and it can be cast from distance. So for his third special attack, he's going to get 3.6 out of 4 possible points, and the total amount of points he gets for his special attacks adds up to the incredible 31.9 out of 36 possible. Classic Rain has weird basic attacks, guys. They are not bad by any means, but when I say weird, I mean that at the same time he's a character who can do without Block Breaker if you're using for one specific thing, but at the same time he does require Block Breaker because, if you don't know, there is 20% chance to soak an enemy on Combo Ender, and you know the easiest way to do Combo Ender is if you have a Block Breaker on your basic attacks. The punching speed is slightly above average, the chaining is okay, I don't think it's godlike, but I don't think it's really bad, so yeah, slightly above average. However, what I like about his basic attacks is that if you have, which will actually happen eventually, if you have 2 or 3 or 4 stacks on your passive, the basic attacks can get you to Special 1 in 2 or 3 hits. That's really awesome, and even if the enemy manages to block your entire combo, after one of the combos actually, Classic Rain take a step back, which is pretty cool. But in general, if you don't have Block Breaker and if the enemy blocks, then you'll be in a lot of trouble, so make sure to use Special 1 in order to buy yourself some time. Usually this is what I do. If the enemy blocks my basic attack combo because let's say I don't have Block Breaker on my range, then I just do Special 1 and I'm repeating the process until I get a slot where I can land a clean Special 1 on the enemy, and from there on I can chain my basics and my Special 1 forever. This is one of the main positives about when it comes to his basic attacks, that they work perfectly fine with his passive and with his Special 1. Perfect synergy. All you have to remember is that you don't need to do Combo Ender in order to chain Special 1. If you have 2, 3, 4 stacks of your passive, that will be perfectly fine. And do not forget that he also have Soak, chance to Soak, but still it is there. So I initially decided to give him like 7.5, but then after I did a couple of games when I literally team soak the enemy by just punching them and doing combo enders, so I decided to give something extra, and at the end of the day I'll be giving him 7.7 out of 10 possible points for his basic attacks. And one last thing, guys, the reason why I didn't give Classic Rain 8 or higher than 8 is because one of his main drawbacks is that he has kind of below average initiation speed. Currently you're seeing me fighting Circle of Shadow Lucane. Since he blocked my special one, I tried to start another combo, but I couldn't, and yeah, you can clearly see how slow he is when it comes to start punching the enemy, and that's kind of not good. Alright guys, the passive of Classic Rain is awesome, and here it is what it does. It is called Heavy Weather. I quote, Classic Rain gains plus 15% power generation increase till the end of the match per unique lasting negative effect applied by him or a teammate. Power generation effect stack up to 7 times. Classic Rain's combo ender have 20% chance to apply Soaked. Any negative effect applied to a soaked enemy by a classic teammate has a 75% chance to be applied as a team negative effect. Classic teammates start with 1 bar of power. This passive is simply beautiful. You can do so much stuff with it. And the first thing first, the 15% power generation increase. It is true that Rain has only 100% base power generation, because if he had 130, that would be extremely unfair. But now, it is so easy to get to 130, guys. All you have to do is one special 2. You do one special 2 with a good score on the minigame, which is incredibly easy. There you go, you have your 130%. Now imagine if you have a teammate that has Shadow Sash, or you have a teammate that has Blazes Life Force, or you have a teammate which is called Classic Lucane. So you can easily get to 4 or even 5 stacks of Rain passive only the first time when you tag him in and do a special 1. This is how great the first part of his passive is. Basically, this means that it's almost guaranteed that you're going to have 150 or 160 or 170 power generation. It is incredibly easy, and if we amplify that by giving him 1 or 2 pieces that further increase his power generation, it is simply mind-blowing. Now, I probably have to mention that Classic Rain works incredibly good with Raiden, because if he team soaks the entire enemy team, it doesn't matter whether it's a regular team or bosses, then Classic Raiden or MK11 Raiden or Injustice Raiden comes in, does special 2, and this absolutely devastates the entire enemy team. It works like a charm. However, Classic Rain also has 20% chance to apply soak, so if he does special 2 after he has applied soak with a combo ender, this basically means that he can do special 2, soak the enemy team, and then he can start using his special 1 to deal damage to the entire enemy team. The possibilities, guys, the options are endless. This guy is simply beautiful. I love him, and I will try to max him out the first possible time when I have. Of course, I will do the tower, hoping to get 2 or 3 copies, hoping, and after that I will see what are the best options to get him. In general, another useful thing is that the negative effect applied to a soaked enemy by a classic teammate has 75% chance to be applied as team negative effect. So you tag in, you have, let's say, a Rain, Raiden and Classic Lucane. You tag in Raiden, and then by the tag in, because the enemy is soaked, the enemy that you're tagging into is soaked, then you're applying the cripple on the entire enemy team. And even if the soaked enemy tagged out, then whoever tags in is going to be crippled. Amazing, right? And the classic teammate starts with 1 bar of power thing. It's simply beautiful. There are so many great classic teammates with either great or unblockable special 2. So I don't know, guys, in my opinion, this is one of the best passives in the game, and I'll be giving it slightly more than I can, but we're going to get to the ranking later. Now I'm going to give you just simple example of how you can use Classic Rain. Currently you're seeing my Rain is really underpowered, in the sense that he doesn't have high fusion, he's just fusion 1. What I'm doing is I'm trying to soak the enemy, and once he's soaked, and once I apply team soak, then I'm trying to do special 1, which will be basically transferred to the entire enemy team, so I can hurt the entire enemy team by simply spamming special 1. And at some point, if I realize that, okay, probably the team soak is going to expire, what I can do is I can simply do another special 2 and repeat my damage with special 1. This is how great Rain is. He is a one-man army, but if you want, you can use him as a support, you can use him as everything. He is really amazing, and on top of that, he is great even at Fusion 0, and you can do so many things with him. Once again, the options are simply endless. So I'll be giving him 21 points for his passive. It is really mind-blowing. He's a dual class character, so he gets 2 points for classes and 0 points for tagging attack. Okay guys, it is time to decide whether Classic Rain is a good character, and oh my god, this is going to be an easy thing to do. First thing first, his stats are amazing and it is extremely easy to get to 7 stacks of his passive in the first, let's say, 6 or 7 seconds of the game. So yeah, one of the best stats in the game. Amazing special one, even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, you can chain it 24/7. Absolutely great special too, perfectly fine fatal blow, incredibly good passive. The only thing that is not that great is his basic attacks. They're not bad, but definitely he doesn't rank as one of the top fighters in the game. Everything else, he's just amazing. So what do I think of this character? My personal opinion is that he is mind-blowing. Definitely the best character we got in probably 2 years. Definitely top 5 best characters in the game, and I cannot wait to max him out and test him in survival mode or even against bosses. I'm going to wreck bosses with this guy when I max him out. Anyways, probably you have already guessed, it is 3 out of 3. This character is an amazing as a support, even at Fusion 0 great. He is amazing as a fighter because of his special 1 lock. He is amazing like everywhere, perfectly fine everywhere. So you can even play him as some kind of an assassin, just tag him in, do special to that's unblockable, and it has a snare, then tag him out back to safety, repeat the process. It is that easy. Very versatile character, I love him. So I'll be giving him 3 out of my 3 subjective points. It isn't hard to assume by now that I'm going to give him the full amount of points. And with them he's going to score 91.3, and we can label him as a perfect character. On our current ranking, guys, he is 4th, just below Black Dragon Cabal and just above Classic Rain. However, we have to keep in mind that Black Dragon Cabal review is kind of outdated. If I have to review him now, he's definitely dropping below the 90 points line because of the simple reason that his passive isn't that useful now when we have survival mode. Nobody wants to die there. So Classic Rain, final verdict, a perfect character. So let's take a look at your vote. Okay guys, time to talk about what you think of Classic Rain, how you rank Classic Rain. Now of course, I realize that not many of you have this character, which is sad, but I do hope that after the Earthrealm Tower this will change. And with that said, if you want to vote for any further future reviews that will come, you will find the link to our Discord server in the description of this video, so you can join and vote there without any issues. With that said, 186 of you voted for Classic Rain with the average score of 8.42. The biggest majority of you voted with a 9, and there is only one person who voted with a 2. I mean, I would love to see his arguments, but it doesn't matter, he voted with a 2. This is the important thing. So, according to you guys, Classic Rain is amazing, but he isn't perfect. Now, do I agree with that, or do I rather agree with the rank I got from the Matrix? And this time, I have to be honest, I agree fully with the verdict that came from the Matrix. Classic Rain is simply astonishing. He can create so many teams, he can be played in so many different ways. It is simply mind-blowing. So definitely, he deserves the label perfect character. Now, when it comes to where he ranks in your current ranking, he is again 4th, just above Circle of Shadow Sub-Zero and just below Fire God Liu Kang. So, once again, for the Matrix, Classic Rain is perfect for you. He is just amazing, probably due to the fact that not many people have this guy yet, but once again, I hope that this will change and you will change your opinion about this amazingly perfect character. So, let's go to the gameplay. Alright guys, is Classic Rain a good opener? I would say that he's a decent one. He has pretty good synergy with the Devastator if you want to use him for his special one. So long story short, he isn't the perfect starter, but he's definitely not one of the worst starters in the game. When it comes to the characters that he counters, I think that he's good against anybody. he doesn't really hard counter a specific character. However, I would rather say that he's kind of bad against Relentless Jason and Assassin Jade because they can evade his special 1 and special 2. And Ray doesn't really like that. He loves using his special attacks and he loves using his combo enders, and Jade kind of isn't really the best matchup for that. Alright guys, we got to the equipment. There is one particular piece which I love having on Rain. Of course, let's start with the tower epics. The first one is the Divine Argus Cloak, really good. However, if you can easily get to 5, 6 or even 7 stacks of his passive, unless you want to do a lot of brutalities, then I wouldn't say that this is the very greatest piece on Rain. It is really good, but once again, if you can get easily to his to his 5, 6, 7 stacks on his passive, and if you want to use a lot of special 1, then yeah, you can still have it, but there are better options. For example, pieces that give you power generation. In general, the Divine Argus Cloak is designed for classic range, it's pretty great, but once again, all I'm saying is that at certain situations you might have to choose something else. And there is another epic that I really love using on Rain, guys. This is the General Father Gun. It is a tower epic again, but if you have it maxed out, it's amazing. First thing first, gives you unblockable chance, and it is true that Rain doesn't stun, but if you use special 1 with his basic, it feels like they are stunned for good. But what I'm saying is that it gives 50% chance to apply Shield Break on special attack 1. So if you have the enemy team soaked, basically this means that you will be doing damage to the entire enemy team, and you are going to be applying Shield Break to the entire enemy team, which means that you will be doing more damage to the entire enemy team. That's incredible. Absolutely mind-blowing. And if you don't have any fancy equipment for Rain, guys, I would advise to give him something that help him to regenerate power. If you're using his special 1, there are a lot of regular rare pieces that will increase his power generation. Basically, this is all he needs. Of course, Block Breaker is always useful. Alright guys, now I'll be talking about the teams, and I'll be Captain Obvious. Rain is strongest in a Rain team. No, I didn't mean that. Rain is strongest in a Classic team. Basically, his two best teammates, in my opinion, Classic Raiden and Classic Liu Kang. These 3 ninjas, actually they're not all ninjas, it doesn't matter, these 3 classic icons form the best team in MK Mobile as of today, October 2021, of course, in my opinion. This team is simply unbeatable, it is great everywhere, against bosses in survival mode, absolutely everywhere. Simply incredible, especially if you have the correct equipment. And if you don't have a lot of classic characters, do not forget that Rain is a dual class character. He is martial artist and outworld, which means that you can use him as a main fighter, and he can be easily supported. Do not underestimate that. And of course, when it comes to other good synergies with classic teammates, of course, I shouldn't skip to say that Classic Smoke is also a good option, but as we already established, you can get to 5, 6 or even 7 stacks of Classic Rain passive without having to reflect any debuffs. So at certain situations, Classic Smoke wouldn't be that useful, unless if you want to just reflect debuffs in general, then he'll be pretty useful. And last but not least, Rain is amazing with any Raiden. It can be MK11 Raiden, it can be Injustice Raiden, it can be Classic Raiden, it can be even Gold Raiden, it doesn't matter. Rain is also good even with MK11 Nightwolf, because part of his special 2 is a lightning attack, so yeah, Rain is awesome. Alright guys, Classic Rain, what do you think of him? Do you like him? Do you dislike him? Once again, he scored 91.3 points and we label him as a perfect character. As usual guys, if you want to see more reviews, you can find the playlist on the top right corner of the screen. See you next time guys. Take care and stay safe.
I am magnificent.
Perfect.